Hello people of Gensokyo, this is Saving playing Touhou Lost Branch of Legends, and today I'm recording another modded run. Today we have Utsuho Reiuji, the Nuclear Crow. She is a pro yokai based off the Yatagarazu, a three-legged crow from Japanese mythology, and she has the power of nuclear fusion. The idea, if I remember correctly, is like because in the real world, cold fusion right now is only theoretical. That technically counts as being in the realm of fantasy, so she just gets to wield fusion basically. She's a walking nuke, honestly. She's a red-black character. Her red set focuses on heat, which is a stackable buff where you spend 1/5 of your heat at the end of every turn to deal damage to every enemy, and you can use vent cards like her starting card in order to spend all your heat at once and burst one enemy down, or sometimes get specific beneficial effects. Her spell card for red Utsuho is Heatwave, deal 30 damage, gain 30 heat, and her starting exhibit, the Control Rod, gives her heat on every card plate. On the other hand, we have Black Utsuho, who focuses more on cards with mass. Basically, this is the heat and this is the fuel, I think is the idea. Cards with mass are like Dark Matter here, which is her token. Dark Matter is a token card with mass that replenishes, and when it enters your hand, it retains for a turn. Mass means, as you can see here, that cards with random effects are going to prioritize cards with mass when they happen. So for example, there's a card that discards 3 random cards and draws 4. So if you have 3 cards with mass in your hand, those are always going to be the random cards chosen for the discard. On top of that, when a random effect discards a card with mass, they are considered pulled, and there are cards that have effects when pulled. So Shooting Star here has mass, and if it gets targeted because of the mass, the effect is going to give you 8 block and add a Dark Matter token to your hand. As for her spell card, deal 30 damage, this time in an AoE instead of a single target, and add a Dark Matter to your draw discard piles and your hand. Finally, her starting exhibit, Black Song. When the draw pile is shuffled, you deal 1 damage to each enemy for each card in the discard pile. So basically, if you have a huge deck, you're going to be dealing a lot of damage whenever this activates, but you're also going to actually have to get through your entire deck, which is going to take you a bit longer. On the other hand, if you have a small deck, you can trigger this quite constantly, but on the other hand, you'll be dealing quite a bit less damage because you'll have less cards in the discard pile. Obviously, having like a big deck isn't the only way to upgrade the damage that the Black Sun's going to do. Things like, the Supernova adds Dark Matter to your discard pile. There are cards that add tokens and other stuff to your discard pile. So yeah, you can easily just generate tokens, put them on your discard pile, and then when you shuffle, all of those are going to upgrade the damage your Black Sun does. So yeah, today I kind of wanted to record Red Utsuho, but I have far more experience playing Black, and I had both a few mistakes and a bit of bad luck when trying to record Red Utsuho, and I kinda got slightly tired of it, honestly, so I decided let's try ahead, record a video on Black Utsuho, and yeah, just trying to use our mass and our payoff cards in order to get a win here. Lunatic 7 as usual. However, today I also have an alternate personal goal. Basically, there was a discussion on the Discord server about one of our cards. We have here Help Me Remember Satorizama, which by the way is a reference to the Touhou fan game of the same name. The idea being, this card when it was shown, was considered to be kinda busted, because if you get 2 copies and any of the meta scaling cards, like let's say Money Shower, you gain 20 money and it excels itself. And let's say you get enough cards that give you mana to pay for the cost of the Help Me Remember card. You're basically gonna be able to chain infinite card, like get an infinite combo. But the thing is, a lot of cards with meta scaling, like cards that give you money or max HP, stuff like that, tend to excel themselves to prevent reusing them too much. So that would allow you to just get things like infinite money and stuff. I don't think it's an actually consistent strategy, because getting 2 off-color rares is rather, rare. But it did seem like an interesting concept, so I thought it would be quite interesting to have this on video. So I'll be trying to get this card, which means I'll be prioritizing getting a blue mana exhibit if I see it on the bosses. So yeah, that's about it. Quick reminder, most of the modded characters, if not all of them, I believe it's all of them honestly, are still works in progress, and as such they are not always fully completed. I mentioned this because Utsuho here is lacking art currently on quite a few of her cards. Not all of them, the art's in progress, but yeah, things like lack of art, the cutout for spell cards, stuff like that, are still missing, but the mod is constantly being updated. It literally got patched yesterday, and yeah, the modder generally takes feedback and replies rather quickly, so really happy when playing the black version of Utsuho so far, even if I had quite a few issues with the red one. So yeah, mod's still like fully playable, even if it's in progress. Just thought I'd mention that, things like this do happen, but it's worth playing anyway, in my opinion. Just like with the patchy video, I'll have the link to the Thunderstore, like for the mod in Thunderstore, in the description. Well, on the comments, because I still can't put links in my descriptions, because my channel needs to be older to be able to verify it without giving YouTube my phone number. But yeah, the idea being, it's gonna be on the comments if you want to play it as well. Hope it interests you, and hope you have fun if you do. But for now, let's go ahead and do a run here. Quick comment about Utsuho, by the way. She has what I would call an above average amount of red-black cards, as in a lot of her cards are actually both colors, and her archetypes of heat and dark matter or mass actually do interact quite a lot with a lot of these cards. So even if our focus is on mass and the black mana and black archetype, the chances are we're going to be using things for both archetypes. More than usual, I mean. Utsuho's starting money is Reimu level support, so generally don't like to take sponsor, because even with 110, going to a shop on Act, like on the first section of Act 1, is not super interesting or anything. I obviously don't want to boss swap, because I want to show off the base mechanics of Utsuho, so boss swapping kinda defeats a bit of the point of the video, in my opinion. Which means we have 2 options here: Relief for a card to remove, or Enlighten for a random rare. Considering those 2 are our main options, and the fact that I think a lot, if not all of Utsuho's rares are pretty good, I'm pretty sure Enlightening is just the correct choice, and it's also like the more interesting one for a video, because it probably gives me something I can build around or showcase. So yeah, let's go ahead and pick this up, and we get probably the best starting reward in the entire character mod. Mega Flair is the Act 1 fight remover, and it's still pretty good on Acts 2 and 3, but as you can see, it's a high damage AoE card. When retained, it decreases damage, so the idea is as soon as you pick it up, you want to play it. But the thing is, it's 4 mana for 12 damage to every enemy 4 times, so it's going to remove hallway fights on Act 1 as if they didn't even exist most of the time. It does upgrade to 18 damage, also reduces the damage faster, but you know, still 72 AoE damage is quite ridiculous this early on. So yeah, we definitely got probably the best rare we could ever get for this. I wish I got this lucky on the red Utsuho rounds I was recording, I guess. But yeah, this means probably that I kind of want to go to the elites, because I'm pretty sure the hallway fights are not going to be a problem. And honestly, this chunks the elites for half their HP anyway, so yeah, let's just go ahead and start with triple combat and an elite. Because we do have the Grace on the Crows here preventing us from instantly killing them. So I'm thinking, if I just do this, it's gonna be like 24 damage on each of them. If I wait until next turn, they're gonna lose the Grace. So even if we do less damage, this is actually going to deal more, because I don't have to worry about the Grace. Which means I'd rather just, you know, block this turn and finish off the Crows next turn. Get the Shooting Star here. Get both Grace. Next turn, this Crow's definitely dead. And the bottom ones, yeah, dead as well. It's 1 Grace and then 30 damage. So yeah, early Mega Flare, definitely the best thing you can get on Utsuho, in my opinion. So yeah, these early hallway fights are probably going to be quite easy, I have to say. So this is a card I wanted to show off on the red Utsuho builds, and I couldn't find a single copy. And as soon as I get black Utsuho, it appears. So basically 3 mana, 7 damage to a random enemy 1 time. For each other card you play this turn, you deal damage an additional time. So the idea on red Utsuho is you accumulate flames, which are the card that excels and gives you 2 red mana. From things like she has a few cards that produce flames. You play a lot of small cards, build up a long combo chain, gain some firepower, and then you finish off your turn with Salvo, dealing massive damage, thanks to dealing damage a ton of times. So yeah, I do like this card quite a lot. However, for our build specifically, it is quite awful, because like we don't really have any small cards or any mana generation we can use for it. Wheel of Misfortune is okay in Lunatic 7, because you're always gonna have at least 1 Misfortune anyway, but doesn't interest me a lot. It's not super amazing for our elites, and I already have Mega Flare for the hallway fights, so whatever. So I think if I pick something up, it's Everything Burns here. 2 red, X cost, for each mana spent, deals 6 damage. This is a multi-attack, by the way, so you're dealing 6 damage this amount of times. So it scales properly off of firepower and stuff. And you also get to exile cards from your hand. The upgrade does not let you exile or draw and discard pile, but this is easily something you could get on your starting hand, get rid of Long Night, stuff like that. So even though it does take all of our red, and I really do want to, you know, get Mass or Dark Matter cards rather than the fire ones, I think this is actually a good pick here. Also, I'm kind of going into over-explain mode here. Probably didn't need to give that long of an explanation. But yeah, point being, card good, I like it. and it lets us exile Long Night, which is great. So if I do another blow away here, I don't take damage, but oh, I use the wrong mana anyway, so I can't even Shooting Star. So I guess that ends the discussion. So I was wondering if I drew Mega Flare, like maybe I could play it and kill the enemy. Definitely doing like boundary here in this Mega Flare. Taking 3 damage just to guarantee the fairy is like almost dead. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah, 8 HP. We got the Black Sun triggers, which you saw there, which means we can just easily kill with a single inverse beam. But we had drawn, like, shouldn't the other being anyway, so we were completely fine there. So, actual mass cards here. Sun Knight Sparrow, neutral, black neutral. Already know it's pretty good. Best wing upgraded because you get one less shadow, while all the good numbers go up. Shooting Star is our starting card, but Warp Shield I think is the one I'm going to be taking. Gain 18 block, move 2 random cards from the draw pile to the hand, and this effect means that if you have cards with mass on the draw pile, this is going to prioritize those cards, and for each card with mass you move, you gain 6 more block, so this could easily be 3 mana for 30 block, which is pretty huge. Upgrades to require 1 less black, just 2 generic instead, and gain barrier from the cards with mass. The base gain is still blocked though. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the Warp Shield here. Generally, with Black Utsuho, I do like having a big deck for the Black Sun. So I'm probably going to be picking up quite a few cards. And that means cards like Warp Shield, which give us defense while also giving us card draw, are honestly rather useful. Not gonna even bother hurting the Kadamas here, because as soon as we draw the Mega Flare, the fight is just over. Even when weakened, we're still dealing like 32 damage. So Reckless Gamble could actually work for us sometimes if we have cards with mass, because the random exile will target them. This would be like, if we have 1 Dark Matter in hand, this is like 1 red to draw 4 cards and lose Dark Matter. Space Counter is card selection that adds Dark Matter to your draw pile. And then we have Full Moon Howl for temporary firepower down and vulnerable. Sadly, we can't combo this with the Mega Flare because we don't have enough red mana, so probably won't be taking it. Not sure I want the Space Counter though. Generally, the Dark Matter cards I like the most are the ones that, you know, like the abilities that generate them constantly, rather than cards I actually have to play for it. It is decent card selection, and it upgrades to only 1 energy, but not sure how much I like a 2 mana cantrip here. Even if it does generate Dark Matter for me. If I was desperate for Dark Matter, I might have taken it, but we're still early into the run. I'm going to ignore it for now and move on. Okay, so O-Ring. Against her, we do want to just wait 1 turn with the Mega Flare, so we can actually kill the spirits as well. Probably just going to do Boundary into Mega Flare. We'll take a little bit of damage from the explosions, but I think it's worth it, honestly. Which means this turn we just get everything burns for 30 damage here. Just exile Long Night and Eviction Order. I guess we can exile an Inverse Being as well. So, actually, do we have cards to... we have the Shooting Star. Yeah, let's not exile the Beam. I don't want to lose all my damage. And I still don't have huge damage cards or anything, so... It's not like exiling my basics is going to get me to better cards faster, because I don't have the better cards yet. Well, I do, but those exile. The better cards I have exile themselves. So yeah, point being, Thunder here is going to reduce damage by 5. This is total of 12 plus 8, 20, so I am going to be taking 15 damage this fight. But Mega Flaring here I feel like it's generally just good enough to do 40 damage on ring and killing all these spirits turn 2. Feels worth it to me even if I'm taking 15, because it also means I'm unlikely to take all that much damage for the rest of the fight. So yeah. We get Black Sun proc, and we just go ahead, full block. I fucked up the mana again. I wanted to Shooting Star to get 2 Grace. So if Orion survives by 1 attack, we know where the mistake came from. I kinda gotten used to calling her Oring, despite her name being Ring. It's like, I'm pretty sure she also gets called out in like the mainline games, but it's basically a nickname for her. I don't remember where it came from. When I mention Oring, I'm talking about her. So yeah, as you can see here, I have the Shooting Star here, which has mass, so if I Warp Shield, it would be guaranteed to get it. Not very useful, honestly, in this case, because black means that I'm not going to be able to play it. Definitely want to upgrade this when I can, but you know, Mega Flare has priority. Regardless though, okay, so I'm going to stall the fight a tiny bit, because this is only going to be me taking 1 damage. And that way, next turn she's going to summon, and I'm going to get a lot more power from the 3 extra spirits. Just get rid of the Grace this turn, and kill her next turn. Like I did mention sometimes that I generally don't like stalling, but if it's like a couple of turns for a very specific thing, generally I don't mind it. So yeah. Just got 15 extra power here, just for waiting like a turn. Blink Dagger here is absolutely huge. This is going to let us pretty much guarantee that we have the Mega Flare in hand for the entirety of Act 1 on turn 1. And it's honestly just a very good exhibit in general. This run is like extremely blessed. I guess the game felt bad for the mediocre ones I got beforehand. Because yeah, I'm going to be able to destroy the hallway fights, honestly. So we have here Ageless Dream, pretty good in general. Might pick it up. We have a rare here, Nuclear Fusion. Exile a card from hand, gain heat, and add a nuclear strike to the hand with heat equal to 7 times the cost of the card exiled. So this vents and then gains heat for the exiled cost. So let's say we exile our Mega Flare, we would get a 28 heat nuke. I guess it could be interesting with some cards, but not really looking to exile the Mega Flare, and it's my highest cost card, so like even this is like 21 damage. And sure, the nuke only costs 1 mana, but I'm spending 3 to actually generate it, so it doesn't seem interesting to me right now. This is probably much better with very high cost cards in the deck. Fucking Wave, deal 8 damage to each enemy, discard a random card. If you pull the card with mass, deal that much damage once more. And it is accurate, so this actually looks pretty good. If this picks up any dark matter or something like our Shooting Star, it's going to deal 8 damage twice in AoE. And the upgrade deals it 2 more times, so 24 damage. Even more AoE, sounds good. And you know, we can get pulled effects from our cards. With our AoE, Reimu actually sounds good, and we don't really have scaling to outscale Cyrano, and we don't have the damage to Berserk. So, not sure about Sakuya. She could be an option as well, other than Reimu, but having this much AoE, I feel like Reimu is just a very easy fight. We don't have all that much money, so let's just go to a cap and elite. And considering hallway fights are pretty much free right now, I'm just going to go for more fights. Ironically, this is actually one of the fights that might not be entirely free, because it's 48 damage, so this is gonna survive. Okay, if I keep shooting my hand, and I draw the flair, I get to do the 53 damage. So I'm going to risk it here, keep the shoot, and I didn't manage to get it. So I guess I'll just, block. We're taking 8 damage this combat because next turn I am guaranteed to finish the combat. So let's just go ahead and shoot, vacuum wave, and next turn the combat's over. Not too bad. Okay, so Sunlight Reverie here is one of the cards I mentioned before, where XL cards get flames, and this combos with the salvo I mentioned. So yeah, this would be one of the cards for the red combo archetype. We have Battle Stance here. I don't really care about temporary firepower, I think. Not really something that fits in my deck very well. And we have Starlight here, which if I remember correctly... Okay, so this is getting heat, as I mentioned, dual card. If you have 40 or more heat, you also gain Barrier onto Dark Matters. If I remember correctly, the upgrade was like 20 heat, and it always does the extra effects. Yeah. This could be interesting if we could upgrade it, but we're going to use the upgrade on this gap for the Mega Flare 100%. Which means I'm not really interested in any of these. Sunlight Reverie, actually, if we have Dark Matters in our discard pile, those are the ones getting exiled by the random effect, aren't they? Yeah. Like, the discard pile also includes the mass cards. So maybe it's actually Sunlight here. Yeah, this sounds good, actually. Just the energy generation could be quite helpful. Okay, so the logic here is quite simple. We don't see Mega Flare. We blink everything away. Still don't see Mega Flare though. So I guess just Sunlight, block, damage, and we just Mega Flare the next turn. Okay, so I know the card is pretty busted at this stage of the game, but has it been on our bottom, like, for the last 3 fights? Because that's what it feels like. Like, I can't really complain about getting this as the starting bonus, but, it's certainly making me work for it. Okay, so another Starlight, Virtual Raging Waves. I did mention I wasn't interested in temporary firepower. This is very similar to our Vacuum Wave, actually. But yeah, the actually interesting card is Cloak of Stars here. 2 mana, 15 block, and we get 2 Dark Matters to the hand, which are cards with mass that will replenish and retain on the turn they enter hand. So yeah, this is a pretty good card for us. Upgrade the Mega Flare. And Mega Flare will actually clear this entirely if we get it. So yeah, let's just discard everything. Okay, like, again, I know I can't complain, but this keeps happening. Oh, and I'm actually taking damage. Oh, actually, let's see. So this discards the random card, right? But this has mass. So we're guaranteed to discard this, and we're gonna gain 8 block on the Dark Matter. And because the card had mass, we actually deal damage twice. So that's great there. And yeah, now I'm just going to deal damage here. I want to guarantee that Star's dead next turn, even through the Grace and the Barrier. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all my damage on her, so that the Mega Flare kills her regardless. Worst case, like, I'm just going to Mega Flare without thinking. And if they are alive, I'll just Supernova right after anyway. Unless I can, like, take no damage somehow. Yeah. And just, no thoughts, head empty. I have 200 power anyway. And yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to do this if I don't want to take the extra damage. And that's about it. Oh, White Hole here is one of my favorite cards for this. This reminds me of the border card for Reimu that deals damage at the end of her turn and gets buffed with buff losses. This doesn't get buffed, but it's like 0 mana card that retains. At the end of the turn, you gain 5 block and add a dark matter to your discard pile. So basically, it's a free defend every turn, up just to 8 block. And honestly, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, just a retain card that gives me block every turn. If we get the ability that gives me better every turn, we're gonna have a pretty solid defensive base. So we can actually keep taking no damage into Act 2 and 3. So we have some money, not a ton though, so not sure if I want to go to the shop here or just go to a gap. What upgrades do we have? Could upgrade White Hole to 8 block. Block of Stars to 20 doesn't really change much for me, I think. Actually, everything burns 3 more damage per mana. Warp Shield for the barrier may be interesting, plus the the not cost reduction, but color reduction. So we can actually warp shield into the shooting star now. Or, you know, just Vacuum Wave for better AoE against Marisa. Not Marisa, Reimu. I think it's a Warp Shield, honestly. It's Warp Shield or White Hole. And I am interested in the synergy here, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and pick up the Warp Shield upgrade. Wait, what was I thinking about the upgrades? I guess for these gaps? Yeah, I think I changed topics in the middle of that explanation, and I lost the thread, lost the plot. Whatever. Yeah, no need for a shop. I think let's just go for gap and elite. Oh yeah, I was deciding if I needed an upgrade to get at the gap, and I have a couple of good ones, so let's go for it. I remember now. It slipped my mind for a second. Just randomly save it easily. Heroko Mask. We attack 3 times in the same turn. We get some block. Okay, so Kanamas, like, even more than most, this is a combat where we absolutely want our Mega Flare. It's not programmed to be at the bottom of the deck, is it? I don't think it is, but it's starting to feel like it. So this is 15, 22 damage. So if I just Warp Shield here, I don't really have to worry. And let's just poke the Black Kadama and the highest HP one. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which one we go for, I think, because the idea is we draw the Mega Flare, we end the fight. Okay, it's not at the bottom of the deck, thankfully. So yeah. Like, again, I know I can't complain, but it is weird. A statistical anomaly for sure. So don't really have that many cards with mass yet, so I don't think I want another Warp Shield. So let's just not High Tension Blade either, same reason. This is basically the same card but for offense. And I'm not super interested in the Impatience, I think. Well, I don't really have card draw, so could be a good card draw card. Oh, but if I use it and I draw the Mega Flare, I can't do red, so never mind. Let's just skip. Yeah, I was thinking earlier, upgrade the warp shield here. Move on. And we find Aya, which is the most resilient to Mega Flare because of all her... Oh, because of all her grace. So we're definitely going to want to have either a shoot or the spell card first to weaken the grace thing. For now though, I'm just gonna go ahead and not get like blink away that many cards. And yeah, this is just very easy. Everything burns for 18 damage. And exile the shoot. Exiling the Lone Knight doesn't really matter, because you know it's going to get exiled from playing a card anyway. But yeah, basically just exile the shoot because I want to keep both my shooting star and my cloak. And we deal 6 damage 5 times, so 18 damage on her because of the 2 grace. Okay, so Sunlight Reverie plus Warp Shield here sounds pretty good. Just take no damage. Okay, Reverie is going to hit either Shooting Star or Dark Matter. Hopefully the Dark Matter. Yep. And we don't have cards with massing here, so we're not really going to know what we get off of this. But it is 20 blocks, so whatever. And I'm actually gonna use a flame so we can get rid of Wolfer. We're gonna take a while to actually remove it entirely because of the Mega Flare letting us finish combats very quickly. So this seems like a good chance to actually get some help with that. So shoot here. Just yeah, I don't have any other damage, so let's just Mega Flare here. It's still 18 times 3, which is going to leave her very, very low. And I'm going to go ahead and flame for some block, plus the white hole, not really taking a lot of damage. So the issue now is, how do I finish this? And I think the answer is basically Sunlight Reverie for mana and Vacuum Wave for multi-hit, along with Shooting Star. Speaking of which, we accumulate mana here. I guess I should have played a card first that I wanted to exile. Oh well. But yeah, playing these doesn't really help us or anything, but you know, whatever. And now we just wait until we draw like several attacks or multi-hits. You know, right now, actually. So we get 1 grace, get another, and Shooting Star just actually. This is cooler. There we go. Easy fight, thankfully. Chopper upgrades to random attack cards, so let's see what we get first, in case we get an attack card. We don't. So yeah, this is the card I mentioned on the explanation, I think. To mana, discard 3 random cards, draw 4. Still not interested in any Starlights right now. Not sure I'm interested in the Deep Memories. I don't think I am, honestly. So, is Escape Velocity good enough? Honestly, right now, on my deck, it doesn't look like it to me. I don't generate enough Dark Mattering hand to be sure I won't discard important cards, so let's just go ahead and skip for now. And we upgraded the Shooting Star at least, even if the other one was a shoot. So, before Reimu, do we upgrade or heal? Honestly, Reimu's kinda scary. I could just upgrade the Vacuum Wave here, but I feel like I want to heal. Reimu can really get out of control with her damage quite often. And the fight is probably going to be decently long for us. Because Mega Flare only does so much with the initial burst. She's going to have a lot less HP, but we still need to get like 170 damage or something. And our deck is quite defensive. Maybe that's a reason to upgrade the Vacuum Wave, but eh. I think I'm just gonna heal, make sure I can survive the entire fight. And after this act, we should be a lot better positioned. Okay, so unlike usual, I'm actually not interested in drawing the Mega Flare super early, because I do want Reimu to summon her things before I bother attacking her. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Cloak Stars here to get some Dark Matter for later and deal some damage. If not for Long Night, I would have Warp Shielded so I could get the other mask card, but for now, that's what I had. So, Boundary here and Whitehall is going to be some defense. 6 times 4 is not going to kill the orb, so not really worth targeting. Let's just go ahead and Reimu. Exile the Misfortune and the basic shoot. We deal some damage, and as soon as we find the what's it called? Mega Flare, we'll be able to clear the... Oh no, please, not now, not now. Oh, thank fuck. I was really scared we were going to draw the Mega Flare when we were sealed. We have no defense though, which is a different kind of scary. Yeah, actually I have to spellcard here. It's going to save me 18 HP. And I guess with what we have here, this is Wolfer into Sunlight Reverie. Rather unfortunate timing, but at least we still have the Mega Flare on the draw pile. I think it's likely that I'll just play it, even if it's like I'm weakened right now and there's no AoE targets. Yeah. Because like if I just let it get damage down, it's like, eh. And next turn she's probably going to deal the 6 times 4 attack on me. So I don't want to spend all my mana on attacking. So let's just go ahead and Mega Flare. Oh, I played the Flame so I could have enough mana to spend 2 black on Shooting Star. And then I let the Auto Tapper consume all my black mana anyway. And I got rid of one of the Dark Matters, don't want to load my hand too much. So we have the Vacuum Wave here, but not the... Have we already used it? Oh, it's on the discard ball. Shooting Star, that's what I was looking for. So let's just go ahead and, you know, block entirely. Gain some barrier from the Dark Matter. And Vacuum Wave, discarding 1 Dark Matter for 16 damage. So yeah, our defensive capabilities are very, very solid. But we actually need to kill her eventually, which is the issue. I was just gonna spend like a couple of Dark Matters. And this is completely wasted, but I need hand space. Please don't tell me I'm gonna lose a run where I have the Mega Flare starting card. Let's just... I need even more hand space apparently. There's a Flame here, lets us block a Tongue, plus I can go ahead and Reverie for even more Flames. And now I just burned all my red mana from blocking. And I know I have enough mana for the shooting star here. I'm expecting, by the way, to eventually get the vacuum wave back to deal damage to these. So that's why I'm not attacking them right now. Speaking of which, here it is. So we have one space, which means this can actually draw both the mass cards. So we're going to gain like 34 total block here. A shame that we can't use the shooting star because I want a vacuum wave, but you know, this is probably my best play. And now I can finish off the orbs without AoE if I need to. Or maybe just, you know, leave it for the Black Sun. And considering I just got sealed, that's looking like the actual option. Okay, so Reverie for the mana. And honestly for hand space. And yeah, next turn I will activate the Black Sun, which is going on to actually kill both of these. Nice. So let's go ahead and Sunlight before I play anything. Don't want to exile any of the cards I actually want to play this turn. And that means I don't want to exile Vacuum Wave basically. And play a Flame for some block. And between the barrier, the white hole, and the block, we're actually taking very little damage here, only 5. But we are getting Fantasy Sealed, so we are still in urgent need of more block. Which we do have, honestly. Flame, blow away, block of stars, and just double boundary here. Play the upgraded shoot just to deal some more damage. And we'll only be taking 1 damage this turn. All of these are retaining though, which actually we won't be taking any because of the white hole. Yeah, all of these are retaining, which means that, you know, I'm actually only drawing 4 next turn. Hopefully she'll be summoning though, so it won't be an issue. But yeah, I'm actually having quite a few hand size issues with the Dark Matter at this point. Sorry, I actually muted the mic without realizing there. But yeah, I was just mentioning we full block, deal damage with what we have. At least this is going to be 20 something. Christ, 40 damage off of this. And we draw infinite Dark Matters and we lose the game.